I walked out of work to an empty parking spot. My 2021 Camry, just paid off, was gone. I called my parents panicking. "Oh honey, relax. We gave it to Felix. He needs it more." My brother had totaled 3 cars in 5 years. This was my first new car ever. I hung up and dialed 911. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe, like, and share this story, because what happens next will absolutely blow your mind. 911, what's your emergency? I'd like to report a stolen vehicle. My hands shook as I stood in the empty space where my car should have been. My beautiful silver 2021 Toyota Camry that I'd spent 4 years paying off. The first new car I'd ever owned in my 28 years of life. I gave the operator every detail. Make, model, color, license plate number, the plate I'd memorized because it was mine, registered to me, insured by me, paid for entirely by me. "And when did you last see the vehicle?" "This morning at 8 a.m. when I parked it here for work." "Are you certain it wasn't towed?" "Positive. I'm in my designated spot at my office building." I took a breath. "And I know who took it. My parents gave it to my brother without my permission." There was a pause. "Ma'am, if family members have access to your keys." "They don't. They must have used the spare key I gave them for emergencies. But they don't have permission to take my car. This is theft. We'll send an officer to take your statement. Please remain at the location." I hung up and immediately called my parents back. My mother answered, cheerful and oblivious. "Paige, did you talk to Felix? He's so excited about the car." "Mom, I just reported it stolen to the police." Silence. "What?" "I reported my car stolen because it was stolen, by you, Dad and Felix." "Don't be dramatic." "Dramatic? You took my car without asking and gave it to someone who's destroyed 3 vehicles in 5 years. That's not being dramatic. That's calling theft what it is. He's your brother. He needed reliable transportation for his new job. Then he should have bought his own car like I did, with money I earned through a loan I paid off myself." "Paige, you're being selfish. Felix is trying to turn his life around. This job is important. He can't get there without a car. And how am I supposed to get to my job? The one I've had for 6 years. The one I've never been late to because I'm responsible enough to maintain my own transportation." "You can take the bus. You're more capable." "I'm not taking the bus because you stole my car for Felix. This isn't negotiable, Mom. The police are on their way. If Felix doesn't return my car immediately, he's going to be arrested for auto theft." "You wouldn't do that to your own brother." "Watch me." I hung up and blocked her number. Then I called my boss to explain why I might need to talk to police during work hours. Then I called my insurance company to report the vehicle as stolen. By the time Officer Santos arrived, a calm, professional woman, I had everything ready. Title, registration, insurance papers, proof of loan payoff, and the text message from my mother confirming they'd taken my car. "This is pretty straightforward," Officer Santos said after reviewing everything. "The vehicle is registered solely to you. You didn't give permission. That's auto theft regardless of the family relationship." My parents think I'm overreacting. You're not. We see this more than you'd think. Family members taking vehicles without permission and being shocked when it's treated as a crime. She handed me a case number. "We'll put out a bolo. If your brother doesn't return it voluntarily, he'll be arrested when we locate it." "Thank you." After she left, I sat on the curb next to my empty parking space and cried. Not because I felt guilty. I didn't, but because this was my family. The people who were supposed to support me, protect me. And they'd stolen from me without a second thought because Felix needed it more. Felix. My 25-year-old brother who'd never held a job longer than 8 months. Who'd totaled 3 cars, 2 by texting while driving, 1 in a DUI my parents covered up by paying off the other driver. Who lived in their basement playing video games while they paid his bills and made excuses for his failures. And I was the selfish one for wanting to keep the car I'd worked for. My phone started blowing up with unknown numbers. I answered one. "Paige, it's Dad. Don't hang up. Where's my car?" "Felix is driving it right now. He's on his way to a job interview." "I don't care if he's on his way to meet the president. He's driving a stolen vehicle." Return it now or he goes to jail. You're being unreasonable. We were going to talk to you about this. Before or after you stole my car? We didn't steal it. We borrowed it. Felix will give it back when he totals it like the last three. When he decides he deserves it more than me. This is my car, Dad. Mine. Not yours to give away. He's your brother. And you're my father, which means you should know better than to steal from your own daughter. If you don't drop this police report, you're going to destroy this family. You destroyed it when you chose Felix over me. Again. I hung up and blocked that number too. Within an hour I had 17 missed calls from aunts, uncles, cousins, my grandmother. All telling me I was wrong, that family helps family, that I should be ashamed. Not one asked if I was okay, if I needed a ride, if I could afford to miss work because I had no transportation. They only cared about Felix facing consequences. Officer Santos called me at 4 p.m. We located your vehicle. Your brother was pulled over for a traffic violation and the officer ran the plates. It came up stolen. Was he arrested? He was taken into custody. The car has been impounded as evidence. You can pick it up tomorrow after we process everything. Thank you. I need to tell you, your parents called the station trying to get us to drop the charges. They're very upset. I'm sure they are. Your brother also claims he didn't know the car was stolen, that your parents told him they'd gotten your permission. Did you believe him? Officer Santos paused. Between you and me? No. But it doesn't matter. He was driving a stolen vehicle. Ignorance isn't a defense. I picked up my car the next morning from the impound lot. It was undamaged, thank God. Felix had only had it for 8 hours. But the inside was trashed. Empty energy drink cans on the floor, fast food bags on the seat, gas tank on empty. He'd taken my car and disrespected it in less than a day. I cleaned it out, filled the tank, and drove to work feeling like I'd reclaimed something that was mine. Not just the car. My boundaries, my right to say no, my right to demand respect. That evening my grandmother showed up at my apartment. I let her in because she was 83 and I loved her, even if I was angry. Felix is in jail, she said without preamble. They're charging him with felony auto theft. Do you understand what that means for his future? Yes. It means he'll face consequences for once in his life. He made a mistake. He made a choice. He knew that car wasn't his. Even if Mom and Dad told him it was okay, he knew it wasn't registered to him. He knew I hadn't called or texted or given any indication he could take it. But he's your brother. And I'm his sister, which apparently means I exist to solve his problems, fix his mistakes, and give up my belongings whenever he needs them more than I do. I felt tears burning. I'm done, Grandma. I'm done being the responsible one who gets punished for it. Your parents are devastated. Good. Maybe they'll learn that actions have consequences. That stealing is wrong even when it's from family. That Felix isn't a child anymore and I'm not obligated to sacrifice for him. Grandma was quiet for a long moment. Then what do you want to happen? I want Felix to plead guilty. I want him to face real consequences. And I want Mom and Dad to admit they were wrong. And if they won't, then I'll testify at his trial. I'll make sure the prosecutor has every text message, every piece of evidence showing this was intentional theft. You'd send your brother to prison? No, Grandma. His choices sent him to prison. I'm just refusing to save him from them. She left shortly after, disappointed but not angry. The case moved faster than I expected. Felix's public defender called asking if I'd accept a plea deal. Felix would plead guilty to misdemeanor unauthorized use of a vehicle, do 6 months probation, pay restitution for my impound fees, and lose his license for a year. What about my parents? I asked. They gave him the keys. They claim they didn't know you hadn't given permission. Unless you want to pursue charges against them separately, they won't face consequences. I thought about it. What I wanted versus what I could live with. I'll accept the plea deal on one condition. Felix has to read a statement in court admitting what he did was theft and wrong. I want him to say it out loud. 2 weeks later I sat in a courtroom and watched my 25-year-old brother stand before a judge and read. I, Felix Reyes, admit that I took my sister's vehicle without permission on May 17th. I knew the car was not registered to me. I knew I didn't have permission to drive it. I took it anyway because I wanted it and thought my sister would forgive me. I was wrong. What I did was theft. I'm sorry. He never looked at me once. The judge accepted the plea, assigned probation, and ordered $847 in restitution. Felix walked out with Mom and Dad flanking him like bodyguards. They refused to acknowledge my existence. I walked out alone and drove myself home in my car. 6 months later Felix completed probation and got his license back. My parents bought him a used Honda. Not as nice as my Camry, but decent. They never apologized. Never acknowledged they were wrong. But they did stop asking me for favors. Stop calling when Felix needed something. Stop treating me like a resource to be exploited. My grandmother still called every Sunday. Have you talked to your mother? No. She misses you. She knows where I live. Paige. Grandma, if she wants a relationship with me, she needs to apologize. Really apologize. Not I'm sorry you were upset, but I'm sorry we stole your car. Until then, we have nothing to talk about. A year after the theft I got a handwritten letter from Felix. Paige. I'm in therapy now, working through why I thought it was okay to take your car, why I've spent my whole life thinking other people should fix my problems. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know what I did was wrong. I just wanted you to know I'm trying to be better. Felix. I read it twice and put it in a drawer. Maybe someday I'll respond. Maybe not. My parents never wrote. And that told me everything I needed to know about who they'd chosen to be. They gave my car to my brother because he needed it more. I reported it stolen because it was. And I've never regretted it. Some people think blood is thicker than water. I think respect matters more than relation. My car sits in my parking space now, protected by a steering wheel lock and a very clear understanding that nobody touches it without my explicit permission. It's more than a car. It's proof that I'm worth protecting. Even from family.